everybody, it's Tuesday evening. I'm forecaster Fleck for PrecisionWXCast.org, just here doing a longer range discussion. And as forecaster Ryan Krim has been really mentioning on his page, that there is a potential for a pretty good snow to develop either in the Mid-Atlantic or the Northeast for the weekend. But I'm going to kind of explain a little bit of that in the aspect of the pattern, and then the longer range pattern to where we're seeing a pretty nice classical La Nina setup. And I'm going to show you this current image, and then I'm going to show you another image, and then an overall pattern. The first image that you're looking at is the present pattern to what we're seeing for this early to midweek for week 1 of January 3rd to the 23rd. And in this pattern, basically, we have a trough, okay, in about Alaska here. Then we have one block over northwest the United States. Then we have a bigger block, okay, over northern Canada. So really the northern jet stream can't really pierce over much of the United States yet, but all the action or all the low pressures and disturbances have to really make their track down this way. That's why you're beginning to see some of that Great Lake effect snows begin to disrupt across really the Ohio Valley and the Northeast, especially New York states and regions. And then of course they come off the coast here, they have chances to bomb out, and then of course then they retreat up and off and out into the Atlantic. So that's really what we're seeing currently as of the pattern for this early to midweek. Now, what I find is very interesting is we're going to look at the same exact pattern, but as for this weekend, where forecaster Ryan Krim has been talking about the potential for an okay or moderate to nice snowstorm to affect the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast regions. And in this next image is just that. You can see that the heights, which is that purple and blue, those are low heights. And I'll tell you, to be honest with you, I haven't seen heights that low on an anomaly pattern image here since the 26th of December, when we had that large snowstorm for the eastern Mid-Atlantic and Northeast, where some areas got 20, perhaps 30 inches of snow. The only difference, okay, that this image shows and difference from the 26th image is, yes, they were both very low in pressure, I mean identical to this, but where they were, the setup of which the lowest pressure is to the other date is this. You got this one for the weekend, the lowest height being around here. Well, in the 26th storm, you had the lowest height about down here. The only difference was that with, and I'll probably draw it one more time for you here, is that with this current, or I guess we'll do the 26th first, with the 26th where the lowest height was here, basically where the lowest trough or height would be, you kind of go a little bit to the upper right of that lowest height, and that's where your storm would be. So what happened was, where the height was, the storm was, and that's where it rode up the eastern seaboard, gave a lot of areas some snow, and then the Northeast, and then cut out to sea. Now what this is showing is the pressures a little more to the north and a little more closer to the coast here. So here's your lowest pressure, and like I said, always to the upper right of the lowest height is where your low pressure will be. So the low pressure looks to be, if this anomaly here is correct, to be off the coast of New Jersey, New York, somewhere up in the northeastern regions, which would mean the Mid-Atlantic, the southern Mid-Atlantic, the southeast would probably not get a snowstorm from this storm, but there would be a storm, a pretty good one indeed, especially over the upper northeast. I think your lowest area to still see, or your most southern area to see some snow out of this, would probably be Pennsylvania and New Jersey, especially eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey. So that would be your southernmost tire. Your northernmost tire could go anywhere from New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine. That's where there's a pretty good potential for a snowstorm, and again, that would be your Friday into Saturday. So we're still keeping an eye on that, but I wanted to just throw out something very interesting, and that was, again, that the 26th storm had lower heights, exactly looking like this, just a little different, and this one has heights right here. With this storm, on the 26th, you have the low pressure here, and as of where the pressures are showing here, you're probably going to have a storm off Jersey probably New York, and then that area northward would get affected this weekend. So that's what we're thinking with at least the pattern aspect of it. Again, more of the storm aspect. Check out Ryan Krim's page. He'll talk more about that. Last but not least, I then want to show you the overall pattern that's going to take shape in the next 2 to 3 weeks, and that is the classical La Nina pattern. Like I said earlier in the video, usually a La Nina pattern in January, it's warm in the east, and that's not occurring. This is an old school, very classical pattern. And why do I say that? Well, I say that because we basically have the storm tracks, or the coldest air, heads up through Alaska into northwest Canada, and that comes down. You start getting a little bit of a trough off the southwest coast here of the United States. That's a pocket for your low pressures. So the cold air is breathing in from the north. Your storm systems breathe in from the southern stream, and with that, these two collide, and you can get a heck of a snow storm across the Ohio Valley, into the Northeast, and into the Mid-Atlantic. So that's why I say that this is a very classical La Nina pattern, and it's going to be cold, it's going to be stormy. I could definitely be very confident with you guys and say this is going to be a heck of a January. I don't know if I want to say it would be a January to remember, but the pattern basically shows that it's going to be quite stormy with a good amount of snow and very, very frigid cold temperatures over the west and Midwest. So we're going to take an eye out on this, but as of right now, that's what my thinking is for Tuesday's longer range discussion. Be sure to check out Wednesday's long range discussion around the afternoon or evening to what, if anything, has changed and what I'm still thinking. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you on Wednesday.